think we appropriately talked about how crazy it was that Shedeur Sanders was not taken in the first round last night. Truly surprised. Like, considering that coming out of the college football season, the assumption was Shedeur Sanders, first round pick in the NFL draft, to ultimately not hearing his name called on day one. I know that in the last few weeks, a lot of the final mock drafts and second to final mock drafts ended up not having him as a top 20 pick, but it was still crazy to watch it happen in real time where he actually went without getting picked. And all I know is watching Shedeur Sanders play at CU, like, I watched him and many a time said, that's a pro. Like, that is a pro quarterback that we are watching. And now he'll have the opportunity to be that guy who can say, everybody passed on me. And I'll be really interested if the Cleveland Browns end up taking him with the 33rd pick that they have coming up. And if they were able to keep their top 5 pick after trading the number 2 pick to the New York Giants, or I'm sorry, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who took Travis Hunter, and then Cleveland ultimately would still be able to get a quarterback that late in the draft. It's intriguing. But I will never be able to understand that Jackson Dart went ahead of Shedeur Sanders in this draft.
I can. They don't. Shedeur Sanders comes in with a whole lot of charisma, pizzazz, right? Shout out to Aladdin and the Genie.
Are you saying he has Riz?
No, that is not what I'm saying at all. No. But he comes in with a lot of that. And NFL teams want a boring quarterback. They don't want you to have a personality in the media. They also, NFL teams, thrive on control. Front offices do not want players to have any sort of control. Front offices and coaching staffs in the NFL want players who are going to go out there and do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. Shedeur Sanders from jump has been very boisterous. His father, Deion Sanders, very boisterous about, hey, this is what we will do. This is what we will not do. This is what he is. They've been almost braggadocious about how good Shedeur is. And that rubs NFL GMs and coaches and front offices the wrong way. There's no other reason than that for taking Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders. Trading back into the first round to take Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders. Also, I might add, when you already got 3 quarterbacks on roster.
Oh, that is the wildest quarterback room in the NFL.
Just doesn't make sense.
Russell Wilson, congratulations. You are on another team that has taken a young quarterback. And Jameis Winston, you are too.
I get it. Why are you doing that? If not for the fact that Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders said, hey, there are teams Shedeur won't play for. Yeah. Well, okay, you're not going to dictate to us what you're going to do. We're going to dictate to you what's going to happen. The NFL is full of dudes like that with points to prove. And somebody may have missed out on a good quarterback. Somebody may have. I don't know if Shedeur is going to be a hit or not. I am all for not taking okay quarterbacks early because you're just desperate for a quarterback. I'm fine with that. But that's not what this is.
That's exactly how,
this is personal.
Was the quarterback depth in this year's draft elite? You could argue no. But this felt exceptionally personal with Shedeur Sanders. And it will never sit right with me on the anonymous sourcing that started to leak over the last few weeks. It felt so targeted. It felt as if there was a true axe to grind and a point to prove and a, hey, we're the front offices of these organizations. You Shedeur Sanders, I don't care what your last name is. I don't care everything that you come in with. I certainly don't care that CU, for some godforsaken reason, retired your jersey this offseason. But I especially am not going to sit here and pretend like we're enamored with the aura of Shedeur Sanders. And I genuinely hope I will be rooting for Shedeur to go in and be that guy who everybody has to look back on and say, why the hell did nobody take a flyer on Shedeur Sanders in the first round? And I know you don't take flyers in the first round, but in a quarterback prominent league, as we are about to do this number 1 draft pick since the year 2000 draft, because it is a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of, it feels bad saying mediocrity.
No, it is mediocrity.
It's a lot of mediocrity.
It is mediocrity, which, going back to Shedeur, we've seen quarterbacks with that, like Shedeur Sanders, get drafted in the first round by the handful. E.J. Manuel, Mettenberger, Paxton Lynch. We've seen these quarterbacks. Yeah. Drew, what was he? Locker? What's Drew Lock? Is it Drew Lock? Titans guy. Who to Jacob? Drew Lock. That was y'all? Jake Locker.
I was like,
there we go. I'm combining mediocre quarterbacks, right?
I combine lyrics. You combine mediocre white quarterbacks.
But we've seen them take those. We've seen front offices say, yep, I need that on my team with the 13th overall pick. And are willing to move heaven and earth to go get that guy. All of a sudden, now that it's Shedeur, no, we're not doing that for him. And I hope that he goes out there like you, Jessica, and proves the haters and doubters wrong. I hope he finds out who that NFL executive is who just slandered his name. Yeah. I hope he throws for 500 yards against that team for the rest of his career, because that's just silliness. That's petty. Yep. And that's personal. That's not about whether or not this young man can play ball at the next level.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m.